The new Tomb Raider game from Square Enix is a reimagining of the origin story of Lara Croft and an attempt by the game developers to revitalize and revamp the Tomb Raider franchise. So were they successful in their goal? In my opinion, Tomb Raider is one of the most refreshing and exciting titles to be released this year, and in this video I'm going to tell you why as I evaluate this latest offering from the people at Crystal Dynamics. The story of Tomb Raider is by no means original, and certainly won't win any literary awards. Instead, it's a tried and tested story of intrigue and mystery surrounding a remote island, bloodthirsty mercenaries, a vengeful spirit known as the Sun Queen who longs to be reborn. It's certainly a story that we have seen before, and this is done purposefully. The main focus of the story is instead on Lara. It's a story of survival, hardships, and sacrifice. A coming-of-age story in which our heroine goes from being a naive woman to the hardened, kick-ass Tomb Raider that we all know and love. And this side of the story is told beautifully. The combination of gameplay, quick-time action sequences, music, and cinematics blend perfectly to immerse us completely in the story, and we feel keenly every scary, shocking, and exhilarating moment as Lara experiences it herself. By the end of the game, we are left truly feeling that Lara has grown as a character, and we feel the same way as gamers, having overcome many of the challenges faced during the course of the story. The characters within the game are a mixed bag of different personalities and ethnic groups. The aim may have been to provide a dynamic and vibrant bunch of friends for Lara to interact with. Unfortunately, often they come across as caricatures and a little two-dimensional in their portrayal. You have the stereotypical Scottish, head-butting, whiskey-drinking old sailor, the fiery, short-tempered, take-no-shit older woman, the sensitive, softly spoken, supportive, brotherly figure, the insecure, selfless, shy but sweet nerd who has a crush on our heroine but will never get the girl, the bubbly best friend who is the complete opposite personality type to our main character, the shady guy that will do anything to become famous, and the wise, war-weary ex-soldier who acts as a mentor figure. While there was a lot of potential here, it's never fully realized. Much of their character development and backstory is told through documents, which you find as you explore the island. Unfortunately, we do not see enough interaction between Lara and the other members of the Endurance crew, with the exception of Samantha, and so we don't feel a sense of emotional connection with them. This means that ultimately, when we are fighting to save the lives of our friends and crewmates, we just don't feel as invested in their survival as we should. Most of the characters are redundant, and the only characters crucial to the story and to Lara's development are Samantha, her best friend, and Matthias, the main antagonist. The other characters are sadly unnecessary and undeveloped. The character development and representation of Lara Croft, on the other hand, is excellent, and much of the credit should go to Lara's voice actress, Camilla Luddington. The developers took a serious risk by replacing the seasoned voice acting talent of Keely Hawes, who had, up until recently, been the longest standing voice actress for Lara Croft in the Tomb Raider series. Their gamble, however, definitely paid off, and Luddington should be commended for her gritty and human portrayal of Lara and the grueling struggles for survival that she goes through. She did a great job, and I hope that she reprises her role in the inevitable sequel that is sure to follow. Tomb Raider is a beautiful game, and often you will find yourself pausing to admire the world around you. The island of Yamatai seems to have a personality of its own, and it's definitely a character within the game. The natural scenery around you is detailed and beautifully rendered. Lighting effects are used well, distant scenery appears hazy, underground caves are dark and creepy. The only light, a small handheld torch, providing a flickering light that could go out at any moment, adding to the sense of claustrophobia, danger and tension that we feel. Weather and environmental effects are dynamic and feel alive. Water and wind effects are cleverly used, rain even pelting the camera, making us feel closer to the action, as if we are actually caught in a storm. Finally, the music and sound effects really breathe life into the island and the experiences Lara goes through. The composer for Tomb Raider, Jason Graves, did an excellent job with the soundtrack, particularly in his use of sound effects and unique sounds, which really add suspense and tension to many of the scenes. The new Tomb Raider follows the same mold as its predecessors, focusing on two main elements in its gameplay: exploration and combat. So let's start first with the combat. Crystal Dynamics decided to revamp and build a unique combat system from the ground up, and it's a lot of fun. Lara certainly packs a punch, now wielding 4 main weapons: a shotgun, an assault rifle, a pistol, and a bow. Switching between these weapons is fluid and fast, and each weapon feels unique, changing your combat style and experience. The bow and pistol are perfect for headshots and taking out the enemy stealthily. The assault rifle is great for crowd control, and the shotgun is just the weapon if you want to get up close and personal. All these weapons are upgradable, and you need to collect salvage to unlock their upgrades, increasing the accuracy, range, and damage of your weapons. Some even get new added features like fire arrows, a grenade launcher, and even special finishing moves. Crystal Dynamics also introduced a new non-stick cover system, and this works perfectly. Many other third-person shooters could learn a lot from the developers of Tomb Raider. The new cover system is great. It's fluid and easy to use, allowing you to move quickly in and out of cover. This keeps the fighting fast-paced and exciting. The enemy AI is also excellent. They react and spot you quickly, they keep the pressure on constantly, and there is a nice variety. Some enemies hang back, shooting you from a distance. Other melee-based enemies charge your position, forcing you to move out of cover and stay constantly on the move. This makes the combat both challenging and extremely enjoyable. So what about exploration within Tomb Raider? The game uses an open world system of fast travel base camps and actively encourages you to explore by allowing you to freely travel around the island and revisit areas. A detailed system of collectible documents, artifacts, and other items reveals more information about Yamatai, the Sun Queen, the island's inhabitants, and history. Collecting these items also allows you to level up Lara's combat and survival skills. An added element of difficulty is included, as there are certain areas unreachable until Lara gains a certain skill, item, or upgrade. This encourages replayability and exploration. There are also a number of optional tombs to explore. Of course, it wouldn't be a Tomb Raider game without the opportunity to explore dusty, ancient ruins and relics, requiring unique problem-solving skills. As a long-term fan of the series, I enjoyed exploring these tombs and applying my mind to solve their mysteries. However, I was a little disappointed and would have liked the tombs to have been much larger in scale and scope. I hope that this can be improved in the next Tomb Raider game. The multiplayer game has a lot of potential. There are 4 very interesting and different gameplay modes that allow you to fight in both single-player and team-based matches. There is a wide roster of playable characters to unlock and a robust weapons upgrade system involving leveling and salvage. Unfortunately, the multiplayer feels unfinished and lacks the same quality as the single-player campaign. And this might be because the multiplayer was outsourced to a third party and not developed by the same team as the single player. There are some serious issues with it. There are sometimes issues with connection and lagging, which makes it incredibly difficult to play when your opponents flit across the screen rapidly and float in mid-air. There are also serious issues with DLC content. Gamers who download the new DLC content are unable to find players in matchmaking mode and must resort to turning off their DLC content to even find sufficient players to play and start a match. It's a serious and frustrating problem that needs addressing. Overall, Tomb Raider is an excellent, refreshing and incredibly enjoyable game to play. The main campaign lasts about 13 hours, including all the side missions. This game scores a much deserved 9 out of 10 and the N7 Gold stamp of approval. This game is a must-own game and should definitely join other iconic titles on your video game shelves. Crystal Dynamics have truly outdone themselves with the single-player campaign and have been hugely successful in revamping the Tomb Raider franchise, and it's a much-needed breath of fresh air. I am incredibly excited to see where the story will go and how they will develop this new Lara Croft in the future. Watch this space!